Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Tomahawk Talk podcast. My name is David Waters.
And I'm Luke Hardin.
Welcome in, everybody. We are glad you have decided to join us today.
You know what day it is?
It's Pitchers and Catchers Day. There's not really a name for it.
Pitchers and catchers have officially reported to spring training. It's baseball season.
Baseball is back, everybody. Wow.
Man, oh man, I'm so excited.
And guess what? There's also some Braves news that came out earlier today that I didn't realize, but I've kind of forgotten about that, but it just came to mind. You can officially go to a spring training game. Officially, they are opening the gates to 1,800 people, not 1,000, 1,800 people. So get your tickets. Use promo code Braves News on SeatGeek. Do it.
Sweet.
That's exciting. So anyways, in this episode, we're going to be talking about our top 10 first basemen in baseball. But first, we have our first sponsorship.
We do.
We do have our first sponsorship. We worked very hard to get a sponsorship, but just kidding. It wasn't very hard. We have had the option to do it this entire time, but we just now got around to doing it. So before we get started on our top 10, quick word from our sponsor. Okay, welcome back. I don't know I don't know if that's even going to be in there, but we're going to figure out how to do that. If there wasn't anything there, then we're gonna try and figure that out. If there wasn't anything there, then I failed at figuring out how to put in a sponsored segment. But if it's there and it sounds good, then we good. So anyways, top 10 first baseman. You ready, Luke?
I am ready. This one was actually surprisingly 6 through 10 was a lot harder than I expected.
Very true. Very true. It was a lot harder than expected.
Looking at some of the stats of some of these guys, I was like, some of these guys, through the years have been consistently awesome, but the last few years haven't been as great. So it was interesting, seeing where they all fall into my list. So I'm excited to get going.
Fall into your list, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's
or didn't fall. If they fell out, they're an honorable mention.
True. Anyways, I started out the countdown last time in our catcher episode. And so we're going to start with Luke this time around. So, Luke, who's your number 10?
My number 10 is Rhys Hoskins.
Fantastic.
I know people obviously were Braves fans. I'm not too fond of Rhys Hoskins. He is a good player. I do have to admit that.
Is he really good?
He is a very good player. Obviously, in 2018 and 2019, he had 34 homers in 2018 and 29 in 2019. This is a guy that doesn't hit super well for average. He only has a career 239 average, and his best career batting average year was 246 in 2018. But man, oh man, can this guy get on base? Career 861 OPS, career 125 OPS plus, a slugging of 495. He was in the Rookie of the Year conversation in 2017. He did not win it, but this is a guy who's not the best defender, but at first base, I feel like defense it's not a huge thing. Obviously the guys at the top of the list, they are at the top of the list because of their bat and because they can do great defensively. And I think that's what separates some of these guys. But Rhys Hoskins, definitely a good player and could potentially be a riser. in the coming years. So,
Fantastic. We want to know who my number 10 is?
who's your number 10?
My number 10 is Rhys Hoskins.
Hey,
We're starting
we're
off
off
with
to
the
a good
same guy.
start.
Hey. One of these days, we're just going to have the exact same list without even knowing it.
We promise we don't coordinate these lists before. He did his in class today, actually, and I did mine just sitting on the couch because
That's
it's
very
snowing
true.
here for like the 4th straight day. So,
Yeah. So, yeah, Rhys Hoskins is my number 10. I mean, pretty much everything that you said. 125 career OPS plus. Very, very solid player. Not a great defender. He has a -6 defensive run saved the last 3 years. This guy walks a ton, led the league in 2019 with 116. Came in 4th in the Rookie of the Year voting in 2017, despite only playing in 50 games. Launched 18 homers in those 50 games, which is insane for a guy who just came up. Kind of slowed down a little bit in 2019, despite all the walks. Only had a 226 average, career low 817 or 819 OPS rather. And then last year put up an OPS of 889, or 887. Sorry, but yeah, this guy has the very rare ability to get on base. Puts up a pretty good slugging percentage, just under 500 for his career. As I said, not the best defender, but his offensive production is pretty darn good, and definitely going to be in that Phillies lineup for years to come. So,
yeah.
Number 9. Who's your number 9?
My number 9 is a guy that, since being signed as a free agent, I believe in 2018, has sort of, fallen off the map. Maybe not a guy you hear of a lot. Recently, at least, I mean, in the public eye or in the national eye. But a guy, 2016 first baseman for the or was it 2015? Whatever year the Kansas City Royals won the World Series. This is Eric Hosmer at number
Eric
9.
Hosmer.
This is a guy. He was an All-Star in 2016. I mean, the guy was so good in 2016 on that team. He has a career batting average of 278. Doesn't get on base a ton statistically. He does have a 108 OPS plus in his career and a 771 OPS. So not the best stats wise. However, he does offer good power. Not the best defender. I believe he has a -7 DRS, defensive runs saved in his career. So not the best, not the worst, but a career 17.8 WAR. So he is at my number 9.
My bottom 3 were like really hard to come up with, and Eric Hosmer just missed out on my top 10. But coming at my number 9 spot is newly acquired for the Kansas City Royals, Carlos Santana. I have Carlos Santana at number 9. This guy kind of had a slow start last year. Had a batting average just under 200, but his OPS was still actually, it was also just under 700. But this guy also led the American League in walks. He's in his career, he's just barely struck out, just very close as many as he's actually walked. I worded that terribly, but but in the last 3 years or so, he's walked more than he struck out, which is very rare in today's game. This guy consistently walks over 100 times a season. He's done it 4 out of the last 6 full seasons, not including 2020, because we all know the 2020 season was very, very short. This guy played in all 60 games for the Indians last year. Got some MVP votes in 2013 as well as 2019. Won his first Silver Slugger and was a first-time All-Star as a 33-year-old in 2019. And this guy is a great defender too. In the last 3 years, 6 defensive runs saved. This guy has a monster bat, a lot of power, drives in a lot of runs, walks a ton, on base machine. Of course, down your last year, but look for him to rebound, or look for him to rebound next year with the Royals. I think he's going to do it.
My number 8 is Carlos Santana. So perfect segue into my number 8. I think you said it perfectly. This is a guy that has a ton of pop in his bat, walks a ton. In the year was with the Phillies in 2018. While he did have 24 home runs, there was something off about him. He just looks a lot more comfortable. He looked a lot more comfortable in Cleveland. I think Kansas City is going to be a better team than they've been in recent years. I don't know if Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be starting on that team yet. I think it'll be interesting to see him in spring training for the Royals. But Carlos Santana, 34 home runs in 2019 and an all-star for Cleveland. A guy that, like you said, he just gets on base. The guy walks at a crazy amount, and I think very underrated in my opinion. Definitely a guy that I would want to have on my team if we didn't have a guy named Freddie Freeman. So
yeah, if he didn't walk as much, he would not be on the top 10. But his walk percentage is insane. That's what got him on this list in the first place for me. So
yeah.
My number 8 is New York Mets first baseman Pete Alonso. This guy had an absolutely historic 2019 season, a record-breaking 53 home runs, came in first in the Rookie of the Year voting. No surprise there. Got some MVP votes, was an all-star. One problem with Pete Alonso is how much he strikes out. 2019 struck out 183 times. 2020, he struck out 61 times. In 2 seasons, 909 OPS, 141 OPS plus. Very, very, very solid numbers. Defensively, he's not the best. I think if he can get his defense, he has a negative 7 defensive runs saved in just 2 years. So with the glove, he's pretty bad. But he's not absolutely terrible. For his career, it's only been 2 years, but I think this guy's potential is through the roof. And this guy's, I hate that he's in New York Met because I can't really root for him, but this guy's going to be a star for years to come. Definitely a lot of all-stars, silver sluggers, everything is in his future. And hopefully he doesn't steal any MVPs away from Freeman or Acuna. Well, she might, though. So Pete Alonso is my number 8.
My number 7. We're doing pretty good with this. My number 7 is Pete Alonso.
Eric Hosmer ruined the list for me.
Pete Alonso's a guy that he broke Aaron Judge's rookie home run record last year. That was against the Braves. Obviously a very emotional moment for him. I remember watching that live. It was a very cool moment, regardless of him being on the Mets.
And it was against Fulte, too.
It was, sadly.
Yeah.
But I think he's got power. He started off 2020. He didn't get off to a great start. He finished a little bit better. He did finish with 16 home runs. So I think he finished the year strong after getting off to a rough start. But I think you said it best, as a guy that strikes out. He had 183 strikeouts in 2019 and 61. He was averaging about a strikeout a game, or just over a strikeout a game, which isn't good. He gets on base a pretty good amount, but I think he does need to cut down the strikeouts. But very good player. Obviously, I will be rooting for him when he's not playing the Braves or when we need the Mets to lose. But Pete Alonso is my number 7.
My number 6 is Did we get out? Did we get out of order? Because you went first.
I did 7. You should be at 7.
Wait. Wait, let me check real quick. Am I going crazy? Oh yeah, I'm at 7. Never mind. My number 7 is we're going right down the road from Citi Field. We're going to Yankee Stadium. Luke Voigt is my number 7. Is he coming up for you, Luke? Yeah.
Yes, he's my number 6.
We got a very similar list. This is not good for an entertainment standpoint, but this guy set a career high with 22 bombs last year, which is crazy to set a career high in a 60-game season. This guy led all of baseball with 22 homers, 52 runs batted in. This guy sucks defensively, negative 23 defensive runs saved the last 3 years.
Yeah, he's not good defensively at all.
He's terrible. I'm guessing he's probably going to be a DH at some point in his career. This guy came up with the Cardinals, was hitting balls into Big Mac land up there in the upper deck in left field at Busch Stadium. This guy's fun player to watch. This guy, career OPS of 891, slugging 527. Last year was impressive 610. Luke Voigt's just a stud. I mean, I feel like he's not fast at all. He's never stolen a base. He's never even attempted a stolen base. But a lot of these first basemen, you're not going to really going to get a lot of speed. But a 156 OPS plus in 2020, 186 in 2018, which is insane in his 47 games there, with a 1.069 nice OPS. 671 slugging in 2018. 2019 was a little bit of a down year for him. He was their everyday starter. Only hit 21 homers, struck out 142 times. But 2020 he made a name for himself and he led all of baseball in home runs. So I think this guy's gonna be a stud. This guy's gonna be really, really good. Just celebrated his 30th birthday back on February 13th. This guy's a big boy, 255 pounds, out of Missouri State University. So this guy's an absolute stud. 136 OPS plus.
They're putting something in that food in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
The New York style pizza.
You're not wrong.
I mean, it kind of slaps, low-key. All right, so I'm guessing by your reaction, you have a very familiar name at number 6.
Yep, my number 6 is also Luke Voigt. So hopefully our top 5s are a little different. I don't think 1 and 2 will be different. I don't think 1 is going to be any different, but
you would think.
But I mean, this is a guy in Luke Voigt that he gets on base a ton, a career 891 OPS, 136 OPS plus. Like you said, a 156 OPS plus this year. He took his hitting to a new level this year, and it was really fun to watch him. Obviously, he's a Yankee. I don't really like the Yankees, but I do sort of respect the Yankees. I do like Luke Voigt, though. I think you said it best. I mean, this is a guy that he hits. That's what he does, and he'll be doing that for years to come. So, Luke Voigt at 6.
True. Okay. My number 6. I feel like this might be where it gets a little different. My number 6 is reigning MVP Freddie. Jose Abreu. Jose Abreu is my number 6. Well, y'all don't see this because this is audio only, but Luke's face when I said Freddie.
I was like, what? Pause. Well, technically, you were correct. He's a rating MVP, just in the other league.
Yeah, he is. That's why I said Freddie Freeman. But no, it's Jose Abreu at number 6, coming in at number 6 for me. Jose Abreu, I mean, this guy won MVP last year for good reason. Big part of the Chicago White Sox lineup I mean, he's been in the league since 2014, just came up, started raking. It was always fun hearing the good old Hawk Harrelson say, "You can put on the party, yes," like every time for Jose Abreu. I mean, I love Hawk Harrelson. I think he's one of the best announcers of all time, like him or not. I mean, this guy has led the Major League Baseball in OPS plus once, slugging twice, RBIs twice. Each of the last 2 years, this guy drives in a ton of runs. Led the American League with 76 hits last year, played in all 60 games. He also grounds into a lot of double plays. He's led all of Major League Baseball twice in a row. But this guy finally is getting a lot more recognition. I don't think he's one of the best first baseman in the league, to be honest. I feel like there are other guys that are better and that have done it for longer. If we're looking at Jose Abreu's numbers over the last 3 years, -8 defensive runs saved. He's pretty bad out there on first base, but a K percent. He does strike out a lot. 21.2% of his plate appearances. Doesn't really walk all that much either, which is kind of surprising for him. That's kind of what kept him out of my top 5. Only 6% walk rate. 125 once created plus the last 3 years of 512 slugging. Last year 987 OPS, a career high mark in that. Obviously a career high in slugging and on base percentage. Actually, no, yes, almost at a career high in on base percentage. His career high was back in 2014 when he won Rookie of the Year. This guy's a 3-time All-Star. He won Major League Player of the Year. He's won 3 Silver Sluggers, and he's finally added an MVP to his resume. So, Jose Abreu coming at number 6 for me.
My number 5 is a guy that locally I've known for a while. He went to the same high school as my dad, Parkview High School. Shout out. This is Matt Olson of the Oakland Athletics. This is a guy who, he rakes, he hits bombs, 25 plus home runs, 24 plus home runs since 2017, 14 in 2020. This is a guy, 838 OPS, 127 OPS plus. He has 2 Gold Gloves in 2018 and 2019. Super underrated. I don't think people talk enough about Matt Olson's defense. I think he's a tremendous defender over there at first base. I think the Oakland Athletics probably have the 2 best defensive hot corners based off just pure just defense. I think with Chapman and Olson, I think they have one of the better corners in the league. So Matt Chapman at 5.
My number 5 is a local boy. We just talked about him, or Luke did. Matt Olson, Parkview High School, Atlanta native. Shout out Parkview High School. This guy's legit. I mean, everyone on the Oakland A's, they don't get enough credit. I mean, back they had one of the like a 1, 2, 3, 4 in lineup. They had Marcus Semien and Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, and Mark Canha, and like all 4 of those guys could mash. I mean, Marcus Semien is no longer in Oakland A, but Oakland Athletic, I guess I should say. But this guy was drafted in the first round back in 2012 out of Parkview. Made his debut in 2016. Ever since he came up, or as far as full season, I guess, in 2017, he hit 24 homers that year in only 59 games. Hit 259 and OPS over 1,000. This guy is phenomenal. 2019. I mean, when is this guy ever? This guy needs to be in the All-Star game. Get a little bit of credit. This guy hasn't been an All-Star
Yeah,
yet, but he's won 2
100%.
Gold Gloves. He is insane defensively. One of the best defensive first basemen. Probably the best in the American League. And at the plate, he's a stud as well. In 2019, hit 36 bombs in only 127 games, 91 RBIs. He struck out 138 times. If he can get the strikeout rate down, I think he's going to be a lot better. 896 OPS in 2019, 263 total bases in both 2018 and 2019, except he did it in 2019 in 35 fewer games. Also had 7 more RBIs. Last year, I played in all 60 games. He hit under 200, but don't concern yourself too much with a 60-game season. It probably shouldn't really cost players like that, because Matt Olson's an absolute stud, and just like everyone else on the A's roster or in that A's lineup, like Mark Hanna as well, so underrated. I mean, if he played for like any other team, I feel like he would get a lot more publicity. I mean, if Matt Olson was traded for Max Muncy, I guess, and Matt Olson went to the Dodgers, you would be hearing about Matt Olson like pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Olson's a stud. Obviously a Georgia native, from Atlanta. Big fan of him. I didn't know he actually knew him, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Get him on the podcast. See if you
I'll
can
try
get him
my
on
best.
here. Do it.
At my number 4 spot, we have Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo, I think you could have made an argument 2 or 3 years ago that he was the second best first baseman in the league. I think people argued he was even the best first baseman in the league. But this is a guy that you don't see too often. He doesn't strike out much at all. And I think that's one of the few things that, has lost. People strike out, I feel like, at a insanely high rate now. He under 100 strikeouts the last 4 years. Obviously, this year is a little different. Career 129 OPS plus, 4 Gold Gloves. He has 150 plus hits in his last 5 seasons, obviously not including 2020. Good power. Awesome guy. Also, just putting that out there. So, what more can you say at Anthony Rizzo? He is at my number 4.
I think there's someone notable that you don't have on your list.
Is there?
I think so. Because there's 4 guys that I have guys in my top 3, and Jose Abreu as well. It's one of them not make your top 10. We'll find out though. I'll question you about it later. Anyways,
we'll see.
My number 4 is Anthony Rizzo. We did not talk about this beforehand at all. Anthony Rizzo is coming at number 4 for me.
Oh wait,
as well.
I think I know who you're talking about, and yes, I did forget about him.
Oh goodness! So your list is...
If he were on this list, he would be at number 6 ahead of Luke Voigt, and that is his name is.
And
Max
you would bump
Muncy.
everyone else down.
Yes. So at that point, that would mean Eric Hosmer would get the boot. So my apologies, guys. Max Muncy is my number 6. You'll obviously talk about him because he's obviously your top 3 first baseman.
So say your top 10 or say your list so far again, like updated list.
So if redoing it now, it would be Carlos Santana. Excuse me. No, sorry. It would be Hosmer at 10. Hoskins would fall off. Then Santana, Alonso, Voigt, Muncy.
Wow. Okay, I think we have. Okay, so I got Hoskins, Santana, Alonso, Voigt, Abreu, Olson so far, and Rizzo. So our list is so similar.
Yeah, this is one of the first times. Obviously, starting pitchers was a little bit different because
There's a lot of starting pitchers.
There's a lot more starting pitchers. There's a lot more varieties. So, but catchers yesterday obviously was all over the place. But
Yeah.
proceed with talking.
I value defensive catchers.
You do, but proceed with talking about Anthony Rizzo at your number 4 spot.
Salvador Perez is not a top 15 catcher. Just had to throw that one in this episode. Also, DFA Liberty Media. Anyways,
facts.
Throw that in here, of course. So, Anthony Rizzo at number 4 for me. 3-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove. He's won Silver Slugger. Won a World Series ring in 2016. This guy was drafted originally by the Boston Red Sox. I don't know if you knew that.
I did actually. I did.
Did know that. I don't remember what.
I remember watching a documentary on him. I think it was on YouTube.
There's an entire documentary off of.
Yeah, about his walk with cancer and then getting traded to the Padres. I mean, like I said, just an amazing dude. But sorry.
So on December 6th, Rizzo was traded along with former Brave KZ Kelly, Raymond Fuentes, and Eric Patterson. He was traded along with those 3 guys to the Padres in exchange for 3-time All-Star Adrian Gonzalez, Braves legend. So he was a Padre, and then he went to the Cubs back on January 6, 2012, when the Padres traded Rizzo. And right-hand pitcher Zach Cates, who never made it to the majors, to the Chicago Cubs in exchange for starting pitcher Andrew Kashner and outfielder Kyung Min Na, who never made it to the majors either. So basically just Rizzo for Andrew Kashner straight up, and clearly the Padres lost that trade. I mean, Cubs found a gem in this guy. I mean, when it came up in 2012, at 285 in his first season in 87 games, 15 homers, 48 RBIs. 2013, he just kept getting better and better. He's finished in the top 4 in the MVP voting twice. He's won the Gold Glove in 4 of the last 5 years. He's hit his career high in home runs is 32, and he's hit 32, and he hit 32 3 times. He hit 31 another time. So this guy's just an absolute stud. Something I remember last year is he hit 2 bombs off Trevor Bauer in one game, and Trevor Bauer actually only threw 1 changeup all year, and that was to Anthony Rizzo, and it got hit for a homer. So shout out to Trevor Bauer's terrible changeup. I'm glad we didn't give him $40 million. Huh? Anyways, this guy, something very unique about him. He stands very, very, very close to the plate. He crowds the plate a lot, and this guy is the active career leader in hit by pitches with 155, which is crazy because he's only been in the bigs for 10 years. Little bonus fact. This guy walks. This guy gets hit by a pitch. This guy doesn't strike out much. This guy hits bombs, plays good defense. Rizzo's still great, y'all. I mean, he's very, very under the radar now, I think. Now that we have more power guys like Pete Alonso and Luke Voigt taking over the show. Rizzo still putting up great numbers. I know he's a little boring because he does the same thing every year, but he does really, really well. I know he only hit 222 last year. It was a 60-game season. I know I say that. I'm probably going to be saying that a lot in these countdown videos, but this guy's still a phenomenal player. He's entering his age 31 season. I'm really excited to see it. A Florida native out of Stoneman Douglas High School, where I believe there was a school shooting there. So I think he did a lot of charity work with them after that happened. So Rizzo, not only is he a great person, a great player on the field, he's great off the field as well. I think he really, really helped out that community after that. So Rizzo is my number 4.
My number 3 is the reigning AL MVP, Jose Abreu. This is a guy that came over at his age 28 season, signed with the White Sox He'll be going into his now 8th year in the league. And he's never hit under 265 in his career. And plus, he rarely misses games. This is a guy who's played 128 plus games every year. He played every single game for the White Sox this year. Has a career batting average of 294. A career slugging percentage of 520. An OPS plus of 136. Obviously, not the best defender. I think you can make an argument for he should maybe be a DH. If obviously, I think they had Edwin Encarnacion as their DH last year and Jose as their first baseman. I think it could flip flop. I mean, not obviously not the best defensive first baseman, but he is there for his bat. He has 2 home runs away from 200 in his career, and he's been in the league for 7 years. I think that goes to show. Guy, his first 4 years had 100 plus RBIs and was on track, or he had 123 last year, which led the league. He had 60 this year, which led the league, and he was on track to get about 120 or even more this year as well. I think he's just a hitting machine. He doesn't stop hitting, and for that reason, he is my number 3.
He probably is going to be a DH because they got Andrew Vaughn coming up soon.
Yeah,
So
that is very true.
I don't know how much longer he's going to be on our top 10 first baseman list. But as long as he is a first baseman, he's going to be on this list. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
So, even though he was my number 6, I'm not too high on him. Just because of the defense. I value defense a lot more than Luke does, clearly. So, yeah, I think Andrew Vaughn as well. I mean, might as well just bring him up. He is an absolute stud as well. I think he's in the mix for the opening day roster, so he might actually be their first baseman,
especially since he was drafted out of college at a Cal, I believe. He's going to be
California.
up there. That White Sox team is going to be really good this year.
Yeah,
better than what
Watch out for the White Sox.
Predicted to win 83 games on that prediction. But
the Picada.
Everybody on that thing should just be fired. But anyways,
let's. Can we talk about how bad that was? Like we could probably just dedicate an entire episode to how
we
bad
could
it
do a
was.
rant on an entire episode for that. But who is your number 3? I'm excited to see. I assume it is Max Muncy.
Is Max Muncy at number 3? Our lists are too similar, but this guy won a World Series ring last year. This guy came up with the Oakland Athletics, and he hit 35 home runs in back-to-back years in 2018 and 2019. I mean, this guy hit 5 home runs in a total of 96 games with the A's, and then he missed all of 2017. I don't know if he was hurt or what happened there, but then he came with he went to the Dodgers, and they started him every day, and he just took off, which tends to happen in Los Angeles because the Dodgers just find hidden gems everywhere, which is really unfortunate for the rest of the National League. But this guy walks a lot. He's walked 208 times in 336 games with the Dodgers. Didn't walk as much with the A's, but this guy has monster power. He's pretty good defensively. He's not terrible. He in the last last 3 years, it's a negative 0.3 defensive WAR. Defensive runs saved. I don't have that pulled up. It's 2020. He was never mind. He played a lot. Okay, never mind. This guy can play all over the place. I kind of didn't realize that. He's played second base, third base. He's played a little bit in the outfield as well. Back in 2018. So this guy's versatile. He was DH a little bit as well. This guy can play all over the diamond. He was an all-star in 2019. A career, or just his 3 years with the Dodgers, an 888 OPS, 516 slugging, 372 on base percentage, which is insanely good. Last year hit 192. It was a 60-game season. I don't care. Max Muncy's number 3.
Excellent. My number 2 is Paul Goldschmidt. I think Paul Goldschmidt and Freddie Freeman are hitting wise pretty identical from opposite sides of the plate. I think the one thing that separates Freddie is how good defensively he is. The guy can jump up 30 feet.
No, we'll talk about that when we get to number 1.
Sorry.
Just kidding. Maybe
But
he's actually my number 2.
Paul Goldschmidt has a career OPS plus of 141, which of active first baseman, I believe leads it because Freddie's is 139. OPS of 914, slugging of 522. I mean, the guy has been to 6 straight. He was 6 straight All-Star games from 2013 to 2018. Obviously, he got traded to St. Louis last year. I think he's gonna be there for a while. I mean, he's probably gonna. I think he's gonna end his career in St. Louis. I think he's gonna be their main. He's gonna be their franchise first baseman for a while. Goldschmidt, 293 batting average career wise. He just hits. He straight up he doesn't take a year off hitting. He always hits. He's always there. Rarely misses a game. He missed 1 game in 2019, 4 games in 2018, 7 in 2017, 4 in 2016, 3 in 2015. I mean, that's unbelievable. That is just unbelievable. So, Paul Goldschmidt at 2.
My number 2 is Paul Goldschmidt. Shocker. Goldschmidt is just, this guy's so unbelievably consistent. I say what you want about his down 2019 year. His OPS was still 821. If that's considered a down year for somebody, then they're elite. And this guy is absolutely fantastic. This guy he still had 34 bombs in a, quote unquote, down year. Drove 97 runs in 2019. And ever since 2012, he's hit over 20 homers. Except for, I guess, never mind, 2014. I think 2014 he had an injury, but he hit 19 and 69 RBIs. Nice. The 6 straight All-Star appearances. This guy walks a ton. He led the league in 2016 with 110 walks. Came in second in the MVP voting twice, once in 2013 when Andrew McCutchen won it, I believe, and then in 2015 when I think Chris Bryant won it in 2015, I want to say. No, it was Bryce Harper. Boo. Yeah, I think definitely this guy is due for an MVP. I think I've always been a big fan of Paul Goldschmidt, and something a lot of people didn't realize is this guy had from 2012 to 2017. This guy stole at least 9 bases, and he actually stole 32 bases in 2016. A first baseman, a 6'3" first baseman, stole 32 bases, and like, are you kidding me? Paul Goldschmidt can steal bases, he can run, he can field, and he can absolutely mash at the plate. It shouldn't be any surprise. This guy's top 3 first baseman, and he definitely should be on anyone's list, in my opinion. So, Luke, who's your number 1?
Surprise, surprise. My number 1 is Freddie Freeman. I mean,
No.
what else? What else do you want to say about the
Wait,
guy?
I
I mean,
forgot Freddie. I forgot Freddie Freeman on my list. I just realized
did
that.
you?
Yeah.
That a boy. Yeah, my number one's actually um yeah, I don't know any other first baseman. But anyways,
Brandon Belt.
yeah, he used to be a top 5 first baseman like 6 years ago.
Like 8 years ago when
Yeah.
it was like every even year.
But I mean, Freddie Freeman, his first 2 years in the league, he had a OPS just under 800. Since then, he hasn't had a OPS under 841, and that was in 2015. 4-time All-Star. He had 1,102 OPS this year, 139 OPS plus in his career. And I mean, the guy strikes out sometimes. I mean, he does strike out. Not obviously as many times as Pete Alonso or Ronald Acuna, but 295 career batting average. He stays healthy all the time, along with Paul Goldschmidt. Those two guys don't miss games very often. The one year Freddie Freeman missed games was 2017, when he got hit in the wrist. He
Dang
still
it,
played
Aaron Loop.
117 games.
I still hate Aaron Loop for that.
Yeah, I do too. But I'll look past that because Matt Adams did break out that year.
And then
That was the
now
year
on
Freddie got
MLB,
to play.
yeah, he got to
What?
play third base, and
Yeah.
now you can still put him at third base for your Diamond Dynasty team.
Sweet. But I mean, he won MVP this year for a reason. He's the best defensive first baseman in the league. I don't think that's even debatable at this point. If you watch him play, there's no better first baseman defensively than Freddie Freeman. And I love Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's been my favorite player forever, and he's my number one.
He's your number one. So unfortunately, as I said, I did forget Freddie Freeman on my list. So my number one is Tampa Bay Rays first baseman Ji-Man Choi. Ji-Man Choi. 2019, this guy took off 19. Just kidding, it's Freddie Freeman. So Freddie Freeman, no surprise here. This guy has deserved to win MVP probably a couple times. I mean, this guy took off for 38 home runs, 295 average, 838 slugging, or 938 slugging rather, in 2019. 2020 just completely took off and hit 341, OPS of 1.102, which is pretty unheard of. But, I would say Jose Abreu's MVP was, I wouldn't say it was like he didn't deserve to win it because he did in those 60 games, but a 60 game MVP doesn't look like as legitimate, but like Freddie Freeman's deserved it for so long. I think that this one does seem legitimate because this guy has just done nothing but mash for ever since 2011. He came up in 2010, kind of struggled, had 4 hits and 24 at bats in 2011. He had a bomb. I think his first home run, if I remember correctly, it was off of Roy Halladay, who was the best pitcher in baseball at the time, and Freeman was a young 20-year-old. If you just look up a picture of Freddie Freeman back in 2010, you wouldn't even believe it would be the same guy. But this guy has blossomed into an absolute star. He's entering his age 31 season, and hopefully Braves can sign him to an extension very, very soon. Absolute RBI machine. This guy walks. I mean, yes, the strikeout numbers are a little up there. I mean, especially 2016, he struck out 171 times. But last year in 2020, he's walked more than he struck out, which is a very good sign. His on base percentage was all the way up at 462. That's insane. Led the league with 23 doubles. He led all of Major League Baseball, actually, with 23 doubles. A 51 run scored. That also led all of baseball. Played every game. This guy's played in all 162 games twice in his career. And he played in all 60 last year. Yeah, Freeman's an absolute stud. And obviously, as Luke said, defensively, this guy is as good as it comes. 10 defensive run saves, defensive runs saved in the last 3 years. 544 slugging last 3 years. 400 on base percentage. 308 batting average. This guy is just, the Braves really, when they decided to rebuild, they built around the right guy. I think everyone can agree with that now. Only been an All-Star 4 times, but he has a lot more in his future, I feel like, and it's about time people finally realize just how good Freddie Freeman is. So Freeman is my number one. Just kidding, G-Man Choi is my number one.
Boy.
So top 10 list one last time. Mine was Hoskins, Santana, Alonso, Voit, Abreu, Olsen, Rizzo, Muncy, Goldschmidt, and Freeman. Luke, your final list was?
My final list was Hosmer, Santana, Alonso, Voit, Muncy, Olsen, Rizzo, Abreu, Goldschmidt, Freeman.
So we agreed on 7 of the 10.
Apologies for me forgetting Max Muncy.
Yeah, of course
He's a very good player.
Yeah, bum.
Even though I hate his guts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
only because he's a Dodger. That's only because he's a Dodger.
We have nothing against Muncy except for his uniform. So
yeah. I would be fine with any Dodger player. Just don't wear a Dodger uniform or a Mets uniform.
Facts. So, honorable mentions. I really, really wanted to put Joey Votto in the top 10.
Me as well.
Because this guy's been an absolute stud forever. I just think the other guys are better now. Votto was just, I mean, he's just, I grew up watching him, and I hate saying that, but I think he just missed out. Same with Eric Hosmer. Also considered CJ Cron as well, who's kind of an underrated player. Great defender. Brandon Belt, also considered him. Miguel Sano. Of course, I mentioned him at number 1, but as a joke. But Ji-Man Choi, I considered him. Vladdy Guerrero Jr., I considered him as well. I think Guerrero in the future is going to be a top 10 first baseman. Also considered Josh Bell of the Nationals. So those are my honorable mentions. What about you?
My honorable mentions, Joey Votto. Like you said, I wanted to put him here. This was a guy that was a top 3 first baseman up until 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, the guy, I think before the last 2 years, I think he might have had close to like 1,000 career OPS. It was ridiculous. Also honorable mention, Josh Bell. And I didn't want to put this as an honorable mention because he was an Astro, but Yoli Gurriel.
Yeah, let's not talk about him. We don't talk about the Astros here. At least 2017 Astros. Like players who actually full on took advantage of this, that cheating scandal. Like the ones who were actually good in 2017. Like Brian McCann gets a pass because he still sucked. So
you're not wrong. Man cheated and he still was garbage. Sorry.
Yeah.
Love you, Brian. But
yeah, we love Brian. Duluth High School grad, local boy.
Yeah.
We had so. Any final things we want to talk about?
We don't have any news. I'm just happy baseball season is upon us. I'm so excited.
So, actually, MLB Network's top 10 is actually, I didn't actually realize this. I actually just pulled this up for the first time. I had this, MLB Network had the same 10 as mine, but in a different order. They put Santana at 10, Hoskins 9, Olsen at 8, which is too low, in my opinion.
That's a tragedy.
Alonso at 7, Rizzo at 6, Muncy 5, Abreu 4. They put Luke Voigt at 3. Not buying that yet. Goldschmidt and Freeman. So they put Luke Voigt ahead of Muncy. That how?
Muncy, put him ahead of Muncy, Olsen, and
Rizzo.
What? Okay. But at least that's not the worst list they've made. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's one of their better ones, honestly. I literally had every single player there. I mean,
yeah.
But actually, did you as well?
No, technically I didn't because I dropped Hoskins out of the top 10.
Oh yeah, over Hosmer.
10. Yeah.
So,
those guys I think could be flip-flopped. I think Hosmer and Hoskins are, I think both of them could be like very close.
Yeah, that's one of their better lists. I think. I actually did not look at this at all. I actually looked at a fellow Instagram account's top 20 and kind of like picked and chose everyone, and I didn't have the exact same lists because I disagreed with some of them, but when you have 20 options, you're not going to miss anyone. So as long as you consider every single one of them, you're fine. So anyways, I think we can get to a walloped segment.
I think we can as well. Let's do it.
So hey Luke, can you check Twitter real quick and make sure we don't have any news to talk about?
Yeah. Nobody is tweeting anything.
Nobody. Nothing. Oh yeah,
No,
Aaron Sanchez
nothing.
went to the Giants, but that's about it.
Yeah, Aaron Sanchez, the Giants, strode back to the Cubs. That was about it. Nothing exciting.
Aaron Sanchez was one of the most underrated players in baseball, and like 2013-ish, somewhere in that range. 2012.
Yeah, I remember. Wasn't he? He was in Cy Young conversations at one point.
He was,
but
he fell off very fast. I think he battled injuries. So
yeah,
this wallop segment comes from May 8th, 2018.
May 8th, 2018. Was this May 8th, 2018? Still on the roster or no?
Yes, he is still on the roster. This was an absolute bomb off of Blake Snell in Tampa.
In Tampa. Was this Freddie?
No.
Ozzy.
No.
Dansby.
No.
Ronald?
Yes. This was his third career home run.
Was it really?
This was Acuna's third career home run off of Blake Snell. T Coates commented rookie of the year. Apparently we got a swing and a drive. That was a strong swing, says Lara. So interesting. Love reading comments that are 3 years old. So let's get a walloped in here before we head out.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Ronald Acuna, mammoth solo homer. Third career home run off of Blake Snell and Tampa. Here we go.
Another 3-2. Swing and a drive. That ball is walloped way out of here. A long home run for Acuna. It's 1-0 Atlanta.
That was a pretty good call, honestly.
That was a great call.
Swing and a drive.
Gotta love Chip.
That ball is walloped. I had to listen to that again on the background. So
I believe we are what 15, number 15 on the top moments list.
Oh yeah, we got to do that. Not so. Yeah, you're like not so fast. Don't put your phone up yet.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
I am.
We got to
Also,
end this
big
one with a bang.
Shout out to Braves Country News, one of my fellow Braves pages. They do a great job over there. It's run by several guys. They also have a podcast as well. Braves Country News, they have a podcast as well. Go check them out. Braves Country Radio podcast. Go check them out. And let them know that Braves News 101, aka Tomahawk Talk Pod, sent you. They just hit 10,000 followers on Instagram, so had to give them a little shout out. Congratulations, Braves Country News. Is very, very well deserved. I think we're at 15 on our list as well. So, any last remarks, Luke, before we head out?
No, like
No.
I said like three times already in this episode. I'm excited baseball's back. I don't know exactly when our first game is. I want to say it's like the 22nd or something. No, 28th actually. My bad. I wasn't even close.
Ooh. Okay. So, number 15 was very memorable. This one was one of my favorite moments, honestly. Is it best? Is it one of the best moments of the decade? Not really, but it's memorable though. It's very memorable. This came on September 21st, 2016.
September 21st, 2016. What was it?
Jim Johnson was on the mound.
Oh, well, that's not good.
No, that can't be good.
That's never good. I don't know.
Game ender.
Oh my! This was I still remember. I still remember watching this live. This was crazy.
So, a little context for y'all. Braves entered the ninth, tied with the Mets 3-3. In the top half, Jace Peterson led off with a single blast from the past there. Also, before I want to get to this moment, I want to give another little quick shout out to a YouTube channel run by Jordan Rager's brother, Jake. Shout out to Jake as well. He runs a YouTube channel called Atlanta Braves Recaps on YouTube. A lot of highlight videos from the Braves from the past, I don't know, 20 or so years of just random games, and it's so much fun to look back on. And I was watching one earlier, and I had another blast from the past. Remember Todd Cunningham?
I do.
That's a blast from the past for everyone.
That is a big blast from the past. If you are a diehard Braves fan, I know you remember that name.
Yes. He was with the Angels. I don't know what happened to him, but
I think he retired.
Did he retire?
I think he did. I'm not sure.
Well, he had a good run, I guess. I don't know what really happened to him, honestly. Anyways, but like shout out to Atlanta Braves Recaps on YouTube. Please go check them out. I really wanted to give that little shout out in this episode. So, at the top of the top half, Jace Peterson led off with a single, and then Dansby Swanson bunted, hit him over to third. Wait, how did he get to second? I don't know. I don't know how he
bunted him to third. What, from first?
He led off with a single. I don't know how he got to second. I don't know. I left that part out. But Dansby Swanson actually laid down a bunt, lost art. Then Emilio Bonifacio. Okay, so apparently I think we bunted him to second. I said third for some reason, but Emilio Bonifacio then had a line drive single left, and Dansby stopped at third. So, and then Ender Inciarte had an RBI ground out. I guess, or fielder's choice. I don't know what happened. I had a very confusing description to this video. This is bad. In the bottom half, Jim Johnson came in to close the game. Lord help us. That's what everyone was saying when Jim Johnson was brought in.
Yeah.
We've had a history of having bad closers. Jim Johnson was terrible. Luke Jackson was their closer once upon a time. I mean, if you're new to the Atlanta Braves, you'd probably be like, "What? He was actually a closer." Yeah, I know. We were that helpless with our bullpen at one point. Jim Johnson came in to close the game. He gave up a single. He struck a guy, had a strikeout. He then walked a guy, then a flyout. Then Yoenis Cespedes came up to the plate with a winning run on first with 2 outs. So first and second, 2 outs, 0-1 count. This was perhaps the most memorable finish to any game in all of 2016.
Yeah.
Ender Inciarte robbed Cespedes of a walk-off home run to cap off a 4-3 Braves victory. So before we have that moment, check us out on social media. Everything will be in the description. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, please, please email us. We are desperate to get an email. We are very desperate to get an
we're waiting
email.
for that first email.
Not the one from the live stream.
No.
No.
Shout out
Cam.
Cam. Shout out Camden. Thank you.
Camden, thank you
she's
for
probably
telling
not
us
listening to this.
Yes, actually, if you go to our live stream and you email us while we're live streaming, request a song. We last time we sang Driver's License. So
So
anyways,
with that being said,
use my promo code Braves News on your spring training tickets or regular season tickets. It doesn't really matter at this point. Save $20 off your purchase of $30 or more. Please go check out Anchor. And we will see y'all in our next episode where we will be discussing the top 10 second baseman in baseball. So,
thanks, guys.
Thank you all for listening, and we will see y'all in the next episode. Wait a minute. I think I have the wrong setting on. I wasn't prepared. Sorry. I wasn't prepared. Anyways, here we go.
Fly ball center field. Inciarte on the run. Still going on the right track at the wall. He got it! Inciarte caught it on the wall. And the Braves have beaten the Mets. Incredible catch to save the game. And the Braves have stunned New York tonight.
Also, Joe Simpson with a